Hey guys, so today I'm going to show you how to make some totally awesome gluten-free pancakes. It's going to be really simple. We're going to use the muffin method and just whip these up real quick along with a really simple blueberry syrup. So let's get started. Start off with 2 bowls and do the dry ingredients first. We want 1 1/4 cups of flour total. So you could use all one kind of flour if you want, or you could mix it up a bit. I'm going to use, for this batch, 1/4 cup of oat flour, plus 1/2 cup each of all-purpose and rice flour. 2 tablespoons of sugar, 1 teaspoon baking powder, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. There we go. Now for the wet ingredients. Here I've got 1 1/4 cup of buttermilk, 1 egg cracked on a flat surface, 2 tablespoons of oil, 1, 2, and 1/2 teaspoon of extract. You could use almond or vanilla or orange or whatever. This time I'm using almond. And take the whisk. I'm going to make sure this is all blended up properly before adding it to the dry ingredients. That looks good to me. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add the wet to the dry, and we're going to just whisk to combine. There'll probably be a few lumps left, but that's okay. So, and there. Still have some lumps, but that's okay. The pancakes will get rid of those as they cook. So we're going to set this aside and let this set up for about 10 minutes. And while we do that, we're going to work on our syrup. Okay, while the pancake batter is getting set up, I'm going to whip up a quick syrup. I'm going to start off with about 1/2 cup of orange juice. We're going to try to pull as much liquid out of these blueberries as possible. So a pinch of salt would help with that. And it's syrup, so it needs to be sweetened. And so we're going to add about 1/4 cup of sugar to that. Just top it off with I'd say probably about 1 cup to 1.5 cups of frozen blueberries. And that's it. I've got it set to medium-low heat, and pretty much we're just going to let that go until it reduces down and until it gets to a syrupy consistency. Alright, so while my syrup is going and my pancake batter is still setting up, then I'm going to clean all this up and get ready to start flipping. Okay, time to start dropping pancakes. So I've got my pan hot, and I'm going to lube it generously with butter. And I like butter butter rather than oil, just because butter makes things brown. And I like for my pancakes to have a nice brown crispy crust. So I've got a 1/3 cup dry measure here, and you can see that the pancake batter has gotten all bubbly from the chemical reactions between the acids and bases. And I'm not going to dip out quite as much for this first batch, because the first batch usually is a throwaway batch. I don't know why, but it seems like the first batch kind of has to be used to season the pan to get ready for future batches. So they just never turn out. Now for the hard part, waiting. Right now the batter's bubbling up pretty much everywhere, and it's still really shiny on top. As they cook through, then the bubbling will only show up around the edges, and once a bunch of little miniature bubbles have popped and created holes around the edges, then you know that that side's done and you're ready to flip. As you can see, the edges here are starting to dry out. The center tops are still quite shiny though, so it's a few more minutes before we're ready to flip. And the first batch, on top of being a throwaway batch, tends to also take the longest. Okay, I think we're ready to start flipping. So you're going to start towards the center of the pan, work the spatula under the edge, you're going to drag it back toward the center and flip away, and repeat for the others. And remember, because these do not have gluten, they will fall apart fairly easily. So don't try to lift them too high off the edge, or that will start happening. There we go. Okay. Okay, so I have a cooling rack here on this other side, and yep, these look ready. If you aren't serving immediately, you probably do want to use a rack, just because you don't want the bottom side where it's making contact with the plate or something getting soggy. So the cooling rack allows for airflow, which means you still have nice crispy pancakes. Take that out. So, next batch, here we go. And I only reapply butter to the pan every other batch, just because it does seem to all get absorbed by that second batch in line, so it's usually about when it needs another application. See, I told you the second batch cooks faster. It's already drying up around the edge on this first one that I dropped. Okay, the syrup's reduced a decent amount, so I'm going to go ahead and turn that off, but leave it on the hot burner. and that will give it a little time to start actually tightening up as it cools and the sugar starts resetting. So, same thing as before. Let's turn that just to make sure it's getting some even heat. It should go first. Okay, so I just want to show you guys the fruits of our labor. Golden brown pancake, delicious, yes. Spongy, and when you tear it open, you'll see it is nice and fluffy inside. Yeah, look at that. Yummy. So, that is how you do awesome gluten-free pancakes. And let's see, I'm going to add some butter. And then some of my homemade blueberry syrup. Yeah. There we go. Isn't that pretty? Not for long though, because I'm going to be stuffing it in my face. Come to mama. So you can see the pancakes just soaked up that blueberry syrup. They have a nice little crispness from the rice flour. You can really taste the almond extract, which goes really well with the orange and blueberry syrup. And of course butter makes everything taste better. Not that these needed to taste better, but you know, it's butter and they're pancakes. Get it on my fork. So, I hope you guys enjoyed learning how to make totally awesome gluten-free pancakes that won't fall apart on the pan. And some equally awesome blueberry syrup to go on them. Stay tuned to see what happens next on a Deglutenizer. Wow, I watch way too much TV. But seriously, keep watching.